And now, live from the Elite Ringside Network studios, this is Raw Review. And here are your hosts, AJ Jensen and Spencer Hart.
Listen up, there's not a moment to spare. It's quite a drop from the top, so how you feeling down there? It's a cold, cruel, harsh reality. Caught, stuck here with your enemies. Who do you think you are? Tearing us all apart. Where did you think you could go? 'Cause everyone already knows it's 20 to 1. Yeah, so you better run. You got the world on its knees.
What is going on, everybody? It's Spencer Hart. This is Raw Review here on the Elite Ringside Network, Spreaker.com, iTunes Player.fm, PodDirectory.com, Stitcher.com, TuneIn Radio, the CastBox.fm, and the Satchel Player for your Android and iPhones. We are also the official podcast of the 434. You can find them on Facebook, the 434, and at 434.com. I, of course, am joined by Mr. AJ Jensen. How you doing, my friend?
I am not too shabby, my friend. How about you?
I am doing pretty well. We're coming off Monday Night Raw. Got some questions about Monday Night Raw, and we'll get to those later in the show. But I want to just get your first reaction to how Monday Night Raw was, in your opinion.
I mean, it was all right for me. Like you said, there were some questions as to like why certain things happened, maybe when they did, or stuff like that. But I mean, I've seen worse.
That's very fair. There have been numerous Monday Night Raws that have been that have paled in comparison. It was a good show. I guess the only question I have is the main event. The main event, and we'll get more into this in greater detail, was Big Cass versus Big Show, with Enzo being in Big Show's corner. So as far as that concerned, we're a little bit baffled as to why, because of course we had the huge triple threat match between Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns, and Samoa Joe, which on paper you would think big triple threat match with 3 of the 4 contenders in the Fatal 4-Way match at SummerSlam. But no, they went with Big Show and Big Cass. So, a little bit confusing, I think, on the part of normal WWE viewers going, huh? So, let's get into going over Monday Night Raw. We, of course, we are in Pittsburgh, the hometown of the general manager, Kurt Angle. So he basically comes out and says, we're going to have a great night, basically previews the matches for the night, and then leaves the ring. Nothing big there, just, giving Kurt Angle some moment in the sun with his hometown fans. So I want to start with doing some winners and losers, I guess you can call them. I first want to start with getting your reaction with the Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins situation. What are your takes on where that's going? Because I have a theory, but I want to get your reaction first. What do you think is going to be happening?
Well, I want to say we touched on this last week, where there's rumors that it's going to be at SummerSlam, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins versus The Bar, that being Sheamus and Cesaro for the tag titles. And I think this week was the starting point of where it's going to build up to that, with Seth Rollins going against, I believe it was Sheamus, and then
that's
basically just getting jumped after. He got the victory, got jumped after the match. Dean, of course, comes out, and I like how he spun it like, well, I know you're the architect. If I didn't come out, I'm going to look like the bad guy. So I won't be surprised if next week we see Cesaro versus Dean Ambrose one-on-one, and more of the same. And that will start to build up for those two to have their match with Sheamus and Cesaro at SummerSlam.
Right, yeah, and I completely agree. It is building towards a tag match for the belts at SummerSlam. I have been hearing rumors, though, that if this match were to occur at SummerSlam, that we may see a Dean Ambrose heel turn at SummerSlam. What are your thoughts on that?
I would be all for it. I want to see heel Dean Ambrose in the worst way.
Yeah, Dean Ambrose's character really does fit the heel persona a little bit better because he's unhinged, he's crazy, but if he's a face, it seems a little bit held back and restrained to me.
Yeah, and especially like you were saying with like the lunatic fringe type thing. Yeah, he's had some great moments, doing funny stuff as the babyface, but he could really, really go off as a heel, I think. And this is where we would see more of the crazy, violent lunatic Dean Ambrose than we would see the more kind of PG, funny Dean Ambrose.
So you're thinking kind of more like the Jon Moxley side of Dean Ambrose, if he were the heel.
Yeah, I mean, obviously minus not having, like saws cutting his face open and all that kind of stuff that he used to do down in CZW. But I think we'll see like a more violent, more attitude type Dean Ambrose, and that's the Dean Ambrose I like. And I talked about this I think last week is. He would cut some of these promos, and the one I want to say was against John Cena and AJ Styles, where Dean Ambrose just basically called John Cena out. He's like, man, you used to come out and rip on these part-timers, and now that's all you are is nothing more than a part-timer, and just that real kind of that attitude that Dean Ambrose has. When he can get into that mode, he is far better to me than he is when he's doing the funny stuff. Everybody knows funny stuff will only get you so far in WWE, and I think Santino Marella was probably the best of where the funny stuff will take you, because that dude was just pure comic genius in everything he did. But
right.
He really didn't get that far. He had some moments, but I think if we see a very serious, more attitude, crazy, more violent Dean Ambrose, he will probably, at least in my eyes, be a lot better than what he's been doing the last year.
I agree, yeah. Dean Ambrose, to me, has kind of stalled since losing the belt at Money in the Bank last year. He had a little bit of an Intercontinental run, but, he's traded that belt with The Miz, and I don't know. To me, Dean Ambrose, he has a lot of potential, especially as a heel, character, that I don't think that his face character is really letting him do. So,
And there's a lot of people out there that, they'll probably listen to this and say, well, that's what everyone says when you try to, just turn him heel. I mean, it doesn't always work for people, but I think for certain people it works. Dean Ambrose, I think it would work great. Roman Reigns, I think would work great. If we had, the old school, Thugonomics, John Cena, that would work great. But there's some people you can't turn heel and have them really be great. And it doesn't, a lot of people say, well, turning heel solves everything. It doesn't. But it does solve stuff in certain people, if they can do it. If you can see the heel side of them once in a while when they do babyface stuff, you just know. There's certain people that can do both. And there's some people I think that are mainly better when they're heel than when they're babyface. And I think Dean Ambrose is one of them.
And I completely agree with you. So, yeah, moving forward into SummerSlam, it most likely is going to be Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins versus Sheamus and Cesaro for the Raw Tag Team Championships. We're both hoping for a Dean Ambrose heel turn. So I want to move on to our first loser of the night. That is going to be Jason Jordan. In a segment on Miz TV. And Jeremy, we're live on chat right now at Spreaker.com. We'll get to the main event here in just a moment as well. But Jason Jordan, in my opinion, a lot of his flaws were seen last night, both on the mic, his kind of uncomfortable stance with being a singles competitor and a singles guy without Chad Gable. In my opinion, they were on full display. So we have The Miz basically just trash-talking Kurt Angle. everything under the sun that you can think of, that you could say about Kurt Angle being, his dad or whatever, was said last night. And the segment basically ended with Jason going, Miz, you could talk about me as much as you want, but don't talk about Kurt. And then, the Miz Taraj kind of backs Miz up slowly, and there's a bunch of John and stuff. And the Miz comes forward, and Jason Jordan grabs him and overhead suplexes him into the Miztourage, which that's fine. His in-ring action is good, but when it comes to the mic skills and, his I'm not saying in-ring presence, but his singles presence, it needs a lot of work. What are your opinions on that?
I'm actually going to kind of disagree with you a little bit. I didn't think his mic work was that bad. I've definitely seen a lot worse.
That's fine.
I do agree that he needs work. That's probably one of the first times that I can think of where he's been on his own with the mic, with no one else there to help back him up. But he was out there with one of the best talkers in the game right now, that being The Miz. And it's kind of hard. And I felt Miz took it easy on him too, because it was it's kind of really his first big speaking thing. I didn't think he did that bad. I thought he held his own. I did like the parts where, the Miz would extend the invitation to him, and he'd be like, oh, it's a really, really good offer, and a really nice offer, but I think I'm good. And it was just like that. Those little parts I liked, because it was basically he was telling Miz, I don't need you. I got Kurt, and, Kurt is greater than Miz, that type of thing. So I didn't think it was all that bad. And then, yes, that over-the-head belly-to-belly suplex right into the Miztourage looked perfect. It looked awesome. It made Jason Jordan basically go over pretty damn well in that segment. And I think I'm going to have to disagree with you about him being a loser in that. In my opinion, as much as I love The Miz, I thought he came out on top of that situation.
And, yeah, don't get me wrong, I really enjoy Jason Jordan. I've enjoyed Jason Jordan, especially when he was with American Alpha with Chad Gable. But I've always enjoyed his in-ring action, his presence, when he does that, when he takes off the straps, and just runs at the person in the corner and does the kind of spear into the corner. I've always enjoyed that, him getting into it. You can tell when he's fired up. I love his in-ring action. He's a little bit uncomfortable at times, which, is fair because he hasn't had a lot of work as a singles competitor, which I'm sure that, especially working with The Miz, because I'm sure this is leading to an Intercontinental Championship match with Jason Jordan. Is if The Miz and our good friend Jeremy in the chat right now said if The Miz can't bring it out of him, then who can?
Exactly, and that's kind of what I was getting at when I was talking about him being in the ring with Miz. And Miz, obviously, like I said, is one of the, if not the best talker in WWE right now.
Right.
I mean, Christ, that dude has just been straight fire for 2 years plus now, and I honestly think he has brought prestige back to the Intercontinental title, because it was irrelevant for so freaking long. I mean, we're talking about that thing getting defended on the goddamn pre-show, where when I grew up in the 90s watching wrestling, if you were the Intercontinental Champion, you were the number 2 dog in the yard. The world champ was alpha, and you were the Intercontinental title was the beta. It was crazy how far that title has dropped. Mm-hmm. And, Miz, I think, brought it back. And it's awesome because I think it's not to that point yet where, it was, when guys like Shawn Michaels held the Intercontinental title, guys like Razor Ramon, Goldust, it's not that prestigious yet, but I think it'll get there one day.
I completely agree. Let's have a little sidebar fun. What do you think the lowest point for the Intercontinental Championship has been so far?
Oh, God.
I'll give you mine. I think when Luke Harper held the Intercontinental Championship belt back when he was just really this. I don't mean this in any sort of bad way, but he was with the Wyatt family, and he was just kind of that person. He had just come out of the Wyatt family, and they slapped the Intercontinental Championship on him as like a throwaway belt. Like, hey, let's push this guy, but let's destroy a belt's prestige in the process. To me, that was a really low point.
Going off that, like I already think that title was in the garbage before that, because was it him and Ziggler in a ladder match for the IC title?
Yep. That
match was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So I don't think that was the lowest point, but I honestly, off the top of my head, I can't think of what the lowest point is, but God, it's
down there.
Yeah. it has been bad. We'll just say that.
Yeah. So I want to move on. One more thing before we go to break. I want to do one more winner. Finn Balor. Finn Balor, of course, entering into a feud with your man, your bae, your spirit animal, Bray Wyatt. And for those of you who haven't seen a picture of my co-host AJ, put him side by side with Bray Wyatt. He's gone to Monday Night Raw and live events dressed up as Bray Wyatt, and people like stop and do a double take like they actually think it's him, because he kind of does look like him. But yeah, I don't know who I want in this feud, because I love Bray Wyatt with a passion.
And these are like my top two guys. Like it's like Bray and Balor. Like, there's a freaking life-size cardboard cutout of Finn Balor in the demon attire in our spare bedroom. And like you said, like, dude, I cosplay as Bray Wyatt at shows. Like, I mean, Christ, when I went to Wizard World a couple years ago, I met Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan, Undertaker, Sting, and Paige. Paige was like, oh my freaking God, you look exactly like Bray. She's like, I saw you walking in and was like, I thought you were him at first. And like, I get it, I look like him, but it's like, come on, dude, the guy's like at least 7-8 inches taller than me.
Yeah.
But I'll take the compliment because, like you were saying, we went to SmackDown in Green Bay. How was it, like October, I think? And little kids come up and take pictures of me. I swear to God, this one little kid actually thought I was Bray Wyatt. And then one of our buddies, Nick, he got a message from one of his friends after the show, and he's like, "Hey, did you see Bray Wyatt walking around like in the arena?" And Nick was like, "That was my buddy AJ dressed up as Bray." But I agree. This is totally tough for me because, like I said, it's my number one and my number 1B. Like, it's, to me, I'm just gonna sit back and watch and enjoy this, because I got a feeling the mind games these two are going to play with each other is going to be phenomenal.
Yeah. And
I'm just going to sit back, just like the Michael Jackson gif from Thriller, and just eat my popcorn and smile.
Oh, yeah, this match is going to be... good. I've enjoyed the feud, and I'm pretty sure they'll bust out the Demon King gimmick again.
Oh, yeah.
For Finn. We discussed this, I think, last week as well. It's been since SummerSlam last year since we've seen the demon side of Finn Balor, and what better way to break it out than with, the Eater of Worlds, Bray Wyatt. So I'm really looking forward to this match. Of course, Balor on Monday night, Bray's out talking in the ring, and all of a sudden the lights go out and his music starts, and then right when you hear the right before his music hits, Finn's in the ring, and that was pretty cool. The lights came up, and Finn's just standing there with his Balor Club leather jacket on, and it's just Bray kind of has like oh shit moment where he kind of looked up, and then he slowly turned his head and started laughing like, "That's good, man. You got me, man." And then all hell broke loose. So,
well, it was funny too because if you noticed, when Finn Balor showed up into the ring, right as the lights went out, he was standing in the exact same spot and the exact same position as Bray Wyatt was. Kind of almost like I don't want to offend anybody, but like, it's almost like a crucified Jesus pose.
Oh, yeah.
Like standing with the legs together, the head down, and the arms out, like they were on a cross. So when the lights came back on, Balor was in the exact same spot and position that Bray was before the lights went out. And I liked that. Just something really little, like a little attention to detail that I noticed, but I really, really liked it.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that. That's actually really cool now that I think about it. That's actually, yeah, I like that a lot. So yeah, moving forward into this feud, this is the one non-title feud that I'm looking forward to the most going into SummerSlam is Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor, because they're the two, I don't want to say weirdest, but the most mysterious people on this Monday Night Raw roster. And thank God Finn Balor got out of that Elias Samson feud. Ugh.
Yeah, did you notice that too? That now they dropped the Samson and that they're now just referring to him as Elias.
Why?
Similar to how they did with Cesaro, Neville, Big E, where they dropped the last name and they're just calling him Elias now.
No comment.
It's weird. Like, are they gonna do that with Finn Balor? Like, we're just gonna call him Balor? Are we gonna call him Finn? Like, for some reason there's certain people they don't like having a second name attached to them. Like, what was wrong with Adrian Neville? What was wrong with what was Cesaro? Was it Antonio Cesaro?
Yep.
What was wrong with Big E Langston? Like, why do you gotta drop it? I mean, Cesaro I guess makes probably more sense than any of them. Big E Langston, I mean, that rolls off the tongue good.
Adrian Neville.
Adrian Neville, I mean, that rolls off the tongue well. The only one that really wouldn't would be Antonio Cesaro, but
yeah.
I don't get what they're doing. Now it's like Elias Samson. Why do they just got to drop it to Elias? I don't understand, but
yeah.
Knows.
Yeah, so we're going to take a quick break, come back, we're going to go over the rest of Monday Night Raw and a couple more winners and losers here. So we're going to take a quick break, come back, and we'll review all of that. That is next here on Raw Review. Hey you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Are you an energetic team player who loves to get into lengthy, logical discussions about pro wrestling? The Elite Ringside Network is looking for talented individuals to join their staff today. We are looking for on-air talent, video editors, and blog writers. If you are interested in joining the ever-growing Elite Ringside Network, send your information today to EliteRingsideNetworkWI@gmail.com. Be a part of something great. Be a part of the revolution. Be a part of the Elite Ringside Network. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Spencer Hart from the Elite Ringside Network. Wanted to let you know about some amazing news. You can now listen to all of our great programming on the new Satchel podcast player for your Android and iPhones. Here's the deal. While you're listening to us on Satchel, you can send us a few dollars to make all of our amazing shows even better. So if you're listening to us right now on Satchel, go ahead and click on that donate button to send us some much appreciated donations. And if you're not listening to us on Satchel, I mean, come on, what are you doing? Download the podcast player right now at satchelplayer.com. Exclusive friends of the Elite Ringside Network. Welcome back to Raw Review here on the Elite Ringside Network, of course, live on Spreaker.com, iTunesPlayer.fm, PodDirectory.com, Stitcher.com, TuneIn Radio, CastBox.fm, the Satchel Player for your Android and iPhones, and we are live right now on the 434 and at 434.com. Alright, so I want to move into poor Bailey.
Well, before we get into that, I just want to say that was the first time I've ever heard those commercials. Awesome. I like being a part of, one of the founding members of this network, this group. It's really cool to see like what we've branched out into and like, what the possibilities have come our way, especially now with, working with the 434. Like, it's crazy that just like a couple of guys like wrestling sat down and recorded talking about wrestling. People said, like, oh, you're just another flash in the pan podcast. You guys will never amount to anything. Nobody likes wrestling anyways. And it's like, we've done so much in less than a year, I'd say, since we all joined together. And it's really freaking cool.
Yeah, and we do want to send out our thanks to the owners of the 434 who gave us this chance. The 434 on Facebook alone has 500,000 followers. And just to be able to broadcast our network to something like that, that's a dream come true for me to have. I'm not saying every one of those people are listening, but just the viewership of a website and a Facebook page like that can give us the love that we want to broadcast with wrestling. Wrestling is a big hobby for us. We love watching wrestling, talking about wrestling.
Watching it for 30 freaking years, man.
Yeah, and for me, somebody that came into it a little bit later in his life, who loves talking about wrestling and loves doing every other waking moment of his life other than working, talking about wrestling. It's awesome that we have a platform to do that now. So again, thank you to everybody at the 434 who gave us this opportunity to broadcast two stupid guys talking about wrestling. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so again, let's move into our girl Bayley. Oh, as soon as I heard Nia Jax's music, I'm like, oh, well, Bayley's eating a loss. Unfortunately, we've seen this match so many times that I knew exactly how this match was going to end. But in the defense of... Well, actually, no, Bayley won, but she won by countout.
Yeah, I was going to say, it was a count-out victory, but, I mean, it wasn't anything too... There was nothing that really stuck out in this match. Nothing, it wasn't even a really decisive victory. It was kind of just almost like a victory. I honestly, I gotta say, in my opinion, I thought the best moment of that match is when Nia Jax mocked Bayley and threw her hair up in a side pony.
That was great. That was so great.
I was like, okay, Nia Jax again, just proving to me and everyone else why I love her so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nia Jax needs to be champion soon. I'm sorry, Alexa, you're my girl, but Nia Jax though.
Yeah, I mean, I love Alexa Bliss too, and I think Nia Jax would be the only one, if she beats Alexa Bliss and becomes champ, I would be okay with it. Everyone else, not really, but Nia Jax does it, I'd be like, okay, I like this.
Yeah. So, of course, Bayley eats a count-out win. Doesn't really do anything for momentum heading into SummerSlam. Of course, the interference by Alexa Bliss causing the distraction on both competitors, and then Nia runs into the stairs, isn't able to make the 10 count. Yeah, like I said, yeah, I mean, my favorite part was the ponytail part with Nia Jax. But other than that, I really didn't have a favorite moment of this match. That's sad, because Bayley's my girl! Bayley is my favorite women's wrestler. But just the main roster has done nothing for her character. Nothing to showcase Bayley. Yeah, she was Raw Women's Champion for 2 months, but...
I don't think there's many people that they've booked worse than Bray Wyatt in this last year. I mean, I would honestly probably say that they have booked Bayley worse than they've booked Bray since Bayley came to the main roster. And that's saying a lot, because Jesus Christ, they have booked Bray so horribly.
Yeah. I mean, you take a look at the matches that Bayley produced back in NXT.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 or 3 of them with Sasha. The match with Asuka was phenomenal.
He had that awesome match with Nia Jax, too.
Right. And we have Nia Jax versus Bayley here, and it's a count-out victory that I'm pretty sure this match was thrown together at the last second. Because I looked at the clock, and I looked at the screen, I'm like, there hasn't been a women's match yet. It's 9:30. Of course, this was after Kalisto versus Elias. Ugh. I
honestly don't even think I watched that match. I think I was in the bathroom or outside smoking a cigarette or something.
So, here's the thing, and I have to be full transparency here. I watched the first hour of Raw, then my family and I went out to dinner to celebrate something. I can't remember what we were celebrating. I think it was a birthday. And so I had a live feed of Monday Night Raw in a Bluetooth, what looks to be like a hearing aid that I got off Wish for like $3. And I had that in my ear just listening to the live stream and everything that was going on. And I hear Kalisto versus Elias right after the triple threat match that should have been the main event. And I'm thinking to myself, what's happening here? I'm having a stroke or something. Because I look at my watch and it's 8:45 and they're like, oh, Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe are here and Braun Strowman. Wait, what?
Yeah, and I don't know. I have like two theories about why that match went on and wasn't the main. My first theory is I'd have to see what the ratings have been like for Raw recently, because maybe that 9 o'clock time slot, their ratings have been down. So maybe they threw that match around 8:45, 9 o'clock to spike the ratings for that time slot. That's one theory. My other theory is they gave Big Cass and Big Show and Enzo the main to see what kind of ratings maybe Big Cass could get. Because they're it seems like to me they're kind of in a testing phase with Big Cass. I've read articles saying that they want to get Cass over as a heel, but they don't feel like they can do it without Enzo. And this is why Enzo keeps showing up every time Big Cass is around. There's no reason Big Cass shouldn't be able to go at Big Show by himself, but they keep throwing Enzo in there because they're not sure if they can get him over as a heel unless he's beating the piss out of Enzo Amore. And that's my second theory on that, is they wanted to see what kind of ratings and how well they would do given the main.
And I think you're correct on the first one, because the live stream I was listening to, it was not a live stream of the actual broadcast. It was a guy like you and me sitting with a microphone recapping everything that was happening in front of him. But the props to the people that changed Big Cass's entrance music, because the original theme for Big Cass was a dumpster fire. It sounded like, have you ever seen that video of the cat with the piano?
Yeah.
It's like the cat, but he has like a DJ scratch pad. There's no beat. There has to be a beat of some kind if you're gonna have a great entrance music. But I enjoy Cass's music now. But that's beside the point. I agree as well that it seems like right now Big Cass can't do anything without Enzo still, even though they're not a tag team anymore. Enzo always has to be there and start with this, smack talking.
He's beaten Enzo how many times now? Like,
yeah. It took one kick to end Enzo last night.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe they are. I agree with you. Maybe they are in kind of a testing phase. The thought that you had about the third hour of Raw, that was the thought of the guy I was watching on YouTube last night streaming the Monday Night Raw, was maybe they are doing that where because the third hour is the ratings are dropping, maybe they do have the quote-unquote big match of the night, the main event, going into that third hour, so the viewership stays. But if that's the case, you need to start it at 9 o'clock or around there and keep at least a half hour there with that match. Because that match was over in, I think it was like 15 minutes. And that's a triple threat match with 3 of the 4 contenders with the Universal Championship match. So it just felt really short to me, and it felt really rushed. And of course, Roman won. Ugh. Sorry, I'm people that are listening right now, I'm not a huge Roman fan right now.
Apparently neither is Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So a little segue. For those of you listening that don't know, here in Wisconsin, we just had one of our bigger indie promotions in Wisconsin, Wisconsin Professional Wrestling, had their 4th Stadium Mania, which is their biggest show of the year, in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And their special guest was Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
No!
And of course, And of course, me, with all the work that we've done with WPW in the past, got to go in early. Actually, got to sit down and talk to Hacksaw a little bit. I didn't get to record anything with him, although he did send my friend a 10-second happy birthday video, which was kind of cool because he's like, I don't normally do this, but he's like, since there's not a lot of people around, he's like, let's do it real quick. And to sit down and kind of talk to him, and I wish I could have recorded this, but again, I wanted to respect his wishes. About like what we like in the current product, because he's like, how long have you been watching? I'm like, 30 years, and he's like, oh damn. He's like, you still watch? I'm like, every week. He's like, who's your top guys? I'm like, Balor and Wyatt, and he agreed with me about them botching Bray Wyatt.
Yeah,
because he said the same thing. He's like, I don't know what they're doing with him. That dude is solid. But he did say that he thinks WWE is pushing Roman Reigns too hard. And I thought, I'm like, hey, that's cool that other people that have been in the business as long can see it, that like, okay, we don't want it. Why do you keep cramming it down our throats?
Right.
It's like being fucking waterboarded.
Right.
But I just want to say, I know this will probably never reach Hacksaw Jim Duggan, but it was a pleasure meeting him this weekend. The dude is huge. I swear to God, his hands are like freaking hockey gloves. Like if I put a hockey glove on my hand, it might be the same size as Hacksaw. I would never want to get punched in the face by that guy. Jesus Christ. And Hacksaw can still get in the ring and bring it down. He literally blew the ceiling off at Stadium Mania. And I say that because when he lifted the 2x4 up in the air, he blew out one of the ceiling tiles. Because the ceiling is so short in that room.
Yeah.
But I was like, Hacksaw literally blowing the ceiling off the arena. It was so cool. But little segue. I want to throw that out there.
Yeah. It's a good point.
That show was amazing.
Yeah.
The show was amazing.
Yeah, our friends at Wisconsin Pro Wrestling have been nothing but supportive to us as well, and it's good to get out and support indie wrestling. Because they're just freaking awesome.
Yeah, going back to Roman Reigns winning that triple threat, that to me says that he is probably not walking out at SummerSlam the victor in the Fatal 4-Way.
What do you think about Paul Heyman's threat to have Brock Lesnar leave if he doesn't retain the belt?
Well,
is that kind of I'm
kind of in a pickle here with this whole situation because now we just had Saturday night. We had John Bones Jones beat Daniel Cormier for the light heavyweight title on in UFC. Calls out Brock Lesnar after the fight because if you want to know what it feels like to get your ass kicked by someone 40 pounds lighter than you, step into the ring with me. And I don't know if Brock Lesnar is going to accept this challenge. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't. There's rumors saying he has not renewed his contract with WWE and that his contract expires at SummerSlam or after SummerSlam.
Really? I had heard that it was after WrestleMania.
Yeah, and I had heard it was after SummerSlam.
But
I
have to look into that.
Yeah, I mean, well, we can figure it out, but it's just, there's so many things going through my mind right now. It's like, I wonder if Paul Heyman said that, like, if this is Brock Lesnar's farewell for now, is Heyman going to turn on Lesnar? Because how sick would it be if Paul Heyman turned on Lesnar and joined Samoa Joe, and Samoa Joe was the new Paul Heyman guy?
That would be amazing. That would be freaking cool.
Because like you could put it down as like at the last pay-per-view is when Paul Heyman was like, oh shit, maybe there's a new beast in town, and decides to jump ship to Samoa Joe. So I don't know. I think it could be cool. Samoa Joe's gonna be over as fuck anyways, regardless. I just think Paul Heyman at his side would just make him that much more of a freaking beast.
I agree as well. No disrespect to Brock Lesnar, but I think Paul Heyman needs to find a new client for the time being. Because if it is true that Brock Lesnar is leaving for UFC, or at least not renewing his contract at SummerSlam or WrestleMania, whenever that case may be, then Paul Heyman needs to stay with the company, and he needs to find a new client.
And who knows? Who knows? You know, maybe Lesnar's going to stick around and do both. Maybe, I mean, that's a hell of a thing to do cross-promoting with WWE and UFC like they used to do back in the 90s. I'm like, God, what was it? I was watching the network. They were advertising for, like, UFC 17 or something like that. Like, Jim Ross was plugging UFC, like, 17 or something like that.
Jeez.
This is back, of course, when we had Dan Severn, Ken Shamrock in the company.
Right.
And they would do the cross-promotion type shit. So, I mean, it's win-win for both the companies because you're bringing a UFC fan base into professional wrestling, and then you're bringing a professional wrestling fan base into UFC. 9 times out of 10, more than likely, if one watches one, they're probably fans of the other to begin with. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, it's win-win if he sticks around and does both.
Well,
and I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, they did some cross promotion. I think it was UFC 200 when Brock fought Mark Hunt.
Yeah.
They did cross promotion for SummerSlam. In WWE programming, they were plugging UFC 200 as well. But I agree that cross promotion, I think, should be a bigger thing because MMA fans and WWE fans are not
they're
so
the same
different.
Family. They're like cousins.
Right. Yeah, they're not so different after all.
Yeah.
So the last thing we'll talk about here real quick, and this is kind of a shameless self-promotion. A few days ago, I wrote an opinion article for the 434. And it was titled, Why John Cena Shouldn't Win at SummerSlam. Of course, tonight on SmackDown, of course, hasn't happened yet, because we are live on Tuesday afternoon. John Cena, Shinsuke Nakamura, the dream match to determine the number one contender for the WWE Championship. Quickly, I think Jinder's going to interfere. It's going to be a triple threat at SummerSlam. That's what I think is going to happen.
That seems to be the consensus with all the rumors and articles and stuff that I've read from the internet as well. Mm-hmm. And that was also kind of something that as soon as I think it was Chris posted on the network page that it seems like this dream match will never happen because he felt the same way that match will start and then Jinder Mahal, the Singh brothers, and probably the Great Khali will just come out and beat the holy hell out of all of them. Or both of them, I should say. And now there's another thing, too. They keep saying that they spoiled this main event for SmackDown with the SummerSlam poster. And I don't understand. Like maybe because they put Shinsuke Nakamura on the poster. Mm-hmm. And I can't remember if it was the only people that were on the poster were the people that had matches at SummerSlam or something like that. But they're like, WWE SummerSlam poster spoils the main event for SmackDown, and basically everyone is calling for the triple threat at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Now, as far as John Cena winning, as much as I would not like Cena to win, I've always had this love-hate relationship with Cena. Well, actually, no. It's kind of actually a hate relationship, but just hear me out. You'll get it.
Okay.
Like, I hate him when he's here. I hate it when he's here. I hate it when he's talk. John Cena, never give up, never back down, yada, yada, yada. I hate it. But I hate it when he's gone. Like, I kind of miss him when he's gone. And it just, I don't know. There's something about Cena leaving and coming back that I just enjoy. And, I mean, let's be honest. The guy has been the top dog in the company for a freaking decade. Is he going to beat Ric Flair's record? Yes. Is he going to do it at SummerSlam? I don't know. Is he going to beat Ric Flair's record? And here's why. Just like The Undertaker's streak, records are meant to be broken. end. If there's one person in that company right now who deserves to beat Ric Flair's record, and the man himself, Ric Flair, has said this, it is John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
Will he hold more titles after that? I think he's 17 and done.
Yeah, I agree.
An article that John Cena said he's not even going to be around that much longer. He doesn't think, which tells me that that 17th title reign is probably coming sooner than later.
Mm-hmm. In my opinion, I think the 17th will happen at 34. Because, I don't know, just the 17th world title, to me, that's a WrestleMania moment right there.
You know, with people getting hurt, John Cena's always kind of doing his part-time thing, doing movies, TV shows. I just saw now he's going to be the main character in the Transformers spin-off for Bumblebee.
Yep.
That John Cena's going to be doing that. I honestly think, you know what, when it comes down to it, it's SummerSlam. It's the biggest party of the summer. If you're going to do it, pull the trigger right then and there, man. It's your summer WrestleMania. It's do it then or don't do it at all, I think. Because if you wait till WrestleMania, you never know what's going to happen. Someone can get hurt, and then you don't have that opportunity. I think WWE's done a very good job of, especially over these last couple of years, with all the fucking injuries they've had. Everybody just dropping like flies.
Yeah.
I think they've done a good job of not waiting to do matches. They realize, okay, as much as it would be awesome to have this person versus this person at WrestleMania, we shouldn't wait, because what if this person gets injured? There's always that thought now. Because, 2015, was it 2014, 2015, 2016, they have just been plagued with injuries.
Yeah.
Freaking half the goddamn roster was out to injuries.
Yeah, last year was not a good year.
Yeah. So, basically what I'm saying is, will I be surprised if John Cena wins his 17th title at SummerSlam? No. Do I want to see it? Not necessarily, but I won't be surprised if it does.
I agree. So, moving forward, like you stated, John Cena will get his 17th. It's just a matter of when, in perspective of when that title reign will happen. And like you said, I agree. 17 and done for him, I think. Well,
and the fact that Ric Flair has given WWE his blessing, saying, yes, have him break my record. I want to say the exact words Ric Flair said is, records are made to be broken. And if there's anyone, like I said, more deserving to break that, it's John Cena.
Mm-hmm. And I completely agree.
And this is coming from a man who, like I said, I am not that much of a fan of John Cena. I have a hate-hate relationship. I hate him when he's here, and I hate him when he's gone. The guy has earned his place. He's earned it, and that's pretty much all I gotta say about Cena.
Yeah, it's more of the respect for the work that he's put in. Yeah. It's respect for the work that he's put in, the work that he's done, not only for the company, outside the company, and of course he just hit 500 Make-A-Wish. He's granted 500 wishes. That's insane. The man is not only a workhorse in the ring, he's an WWE ambassador, he's a good person. He's a good representative of the company. He's a good representative of himself and his family as well. So I think, like you stated, if somebody's going to break that record, it's going to be John Cena. Yeah. So, final thoughts on Monday Night Raw, where we're headed from here going into SummerSlam. What are we, 3 weeks out?
I think so.
Yes.
Monday Night Raw it was just all right for me. It wasn't amazing. I don't think it sucked complete ass, but I liked the triple threat match. I thought that was cool. I liked the Miz TV segment. I always like the Miz TV segments because it's the fucking Miz.
Right.
But just curious to see, what is going to happen these next following weeks with Raw and SmackDown. I'm actually going to watch SmackDown here in a couple of hours. I really want to see what goes down in that Cena Nakamura match. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, this is the point of the year. This is the time of year where SummerSlam is where things start to pick up again, because we go into SummerSlam, and then you got a couple of months in between, then a Survivor Series, then a couple months in between, then it's Royal Rumble, and then full blown freaking shot to WrestleMania. It's always a couple months after WrestleMania where shit kind of dies down and gets stupid.
Right.
And now it's like SummerSlam, it's like starting to pick it up, and then it's just kind of a straight shot after SummerSlam. So just, really curious to see what these next couple of weeks are going to bring right up to before SummerSlam.
I agree, yeah. I'm really looking forward to SummerSlam. SummerSlam is always one of my favorites. Because you never know what's going to happen. It's one of the big four, and usually some good stuff happens at the big four pay-per-view.
It'll be 6 hours long on the network.
Woo!
2-hour pre-show, 4-hour card. Jesus Christ.
Yep, probably an after show of some kind.
I'm not sure what we're doing, though. I'm not sure if we're having people over at the house or if we're going to go to that Max bar. Yeah. We kind of have said, like, we would do the big four at Max. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm not sure. We'll have to get everyone together and figure out what they want to do.
Hell yeah. So, that's going to do it for Raw Review. So thank you to everybody that was listening live here today. Thank you to all of our great listeners, all of our great sponsors. Of course, thank you to the 434 for giving us a platform again to get all of our thoughts and information off the ground. So, for everybody here at the Elite Ringside Network, AJ Jensen, I am Spencer Hart saying we will see you guys tomorrow for Smack Talk here on the Elite Ringside Network. Have a good day, everyone.